Today, News 25 sat down with former Diamond Head City Manager Richard Rose to hear firsthand his side of the story. Rose was terminated last week, and since then he's filed lawsuits against the city.
Now, Diamond Head citizens are wondering what will happen with Rose. In response, Councilman Joseph Lopez and Thomas Sislo are holding a town meeting tonight where citizens can ask questions they have about Rose or any other city matter. News 25's Alyssa Meisner joins us live in Diamond Head, where that meeting will be held. Alyssa.
I'm outside Diamond Head City Council chambers where a town hall meeting will be starting shortly. Councilman Lopez and Sislo are expecting a big turnout of residents with questions about Rose's termination and also to discuss other city matters. Today I sat down with Rose and his attorney to hear what he believes really happened behind the scenes while he was city manager. He shared audio recordings with News 25 that say prove Mayor Tommy Schaefer was acting unethically. Let's take a look.
Well, I was the recipient. You told me not to call these people anymore.
And I'm going to tell you, quit calling. I'll tell you again, quit calling. Do your job. You do not need to call individual councilmen to do your job.
Former Diamond Head City Manager Richard Rose says the voice on this recorder is Mayor Tommy Schaefer, demanding Rose to cease communication with all city councilmen so the mayor could have more control over city business.
You know, when you told me, don't you ever call Sislo again, and don't you ever call the council again, and whose side are you on, that upset me. You know? That upset me.
You want to go to war over?
Rose says his refusing to follow the mayor's unethical requests quickly led to a hostile work environment. Rose says his suspension as city manager on April 23rd came out of left field. He was finally terminated 6 weeks later after the city says he was ineffective at his job.
I had never been previously noticed by the mayor or council regarding any issues with my performance, not a single solitary time.
Rose and his attorney, Jim Halliday, have filed suit against the city of Diamond Head. Rose is now awaiting a response from the city as he fights to defend his work practices and good name. Shortly, I'll be headed into the meeting to hear the citizens' concerns and the councilman's response to issues with Richard Rose and city matters. Reporting live in Diamond Head, I'm Alyssa Meisner.
Ken Germain owns this motorhome where he lives with his wife and 2 young children. He used to stay at the Southern Comfort Camping Resort in Biloxi. He says his family was placed on lot 46 where the power source bringing electricity from the property into the home was faulty. The cord to his motorhome was burned up twice.
They had a guy come out and just put some wires together where it would basically work. And they told me they were going to get it fixed properly, and it never did.
News 25 spoke with Biloxi code enforcement officials who tell us Southern Comfort did not have the proper permit to do the electrical work done. Officials also tell us that the work done on box number 46 is not up to code.
Well, I don't think we were aware that that we had to have certification for to work on a box, just to change out something.
Eric Upton works for a mobile detailer on the Gulf Coast and used to live at Southern Comfort himself. He says there are multiple boxes on the property with serious electrical problems.
Numerous times my employees or myself would be cleaning a rim or touching any kind of metal parts on the motorhomes, and I mean, it would give you a good shock.
But according to Mooney, box 46 is the only faulty box.
We have had them checked, and we're looking at one box. We're not looking at the entire campground, so that's important.
So code enforcement did come and you have passed inspection?
Except for getting this one permit and getting all the paperwork taken care of on the one box.
News 25 spoke with Biloxi Planning and Development Director Jerry Creel, who says code enforcement has not conducted an inspection on Southern Comfort. He says before a formal inspection is conducted, a city electrician has to check a number of boxes and allot Southern Comfort time to fix the issues. In Biloxi, Katerina Lukatich, News 25.
Michael Janis has about 45 days before he will start his federal prison sentence in either a Pensacola or Montgomery penitentiary. Janis says he accepts his fate, but plans to take D'Albertville to court over the termination of his employment contract, and hopes it goes to trial.
I think that the citizens of the Gulf Coast, and certainly of D'Albertville, deserve to know the whole truth, not as represented by one media outlet or another, or one individual or one entity or whatnot, but I'm all for getting the truth out there.
According to Janice, D'Albertville city officials knew about the $180,000 finder's fee with Scott Walker's company, Maxwell Walker, and that they agreed to the terms. But when the federal government started investigating Walker, Janice says they looked the other way and had no evidence to protect himself.
So I guess if I had any advice from my predecessor, Mr. Bobby, I'd say you better start taking minutes and getting some documentation when you have those executive sessions.
In hindsight, Janice says he wishes he would have done more to check the legality of Walker's actions, with the $90,000 of the $180,000 that ended up in an account Walker and Janice shared.
The local attorney said if you do it as a loan from Maxwell Walker to Jawa. He drafted up a promissory note. Scott paid him, and I felt everything, at that point was okay.
Clearly, it was that move that landed Janice in hot water and fueled the federal case against Bill and Scott Walker. Janice says he believes the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality is next on the federal chopping block for mishandling government funds, since they were the ones who approved the $3 million grant.
As I mentioned to you, they pretty much gave us the money and asked me to fill in the blanks and tell us what we were going to spend it on. And really that's backwards. It should be entities submitting applications and requesting money and being held firm.
As Janice prepares for prison, he says he's in good spirits and will rely on his wife's strength and faith in God. In Biloxi, Sarah Duffy, News 25.